Thank you very much. I can't even imagine the size of the bar tab that it paid for that applause, but I thank you for that. Good evening and welcome to the 2017 Bethesda E3 Showcase. And welcome to Bethesda Land. We will offer you an experience at E3 unlike anything else, and a chance to celebrate some of the world's best video games. Tonight we'll be taking you on a virtual tour through our playground where there's something for everyone, whether it's phone or tablet, PC, or your favorite Xbox.
What's up, game players? How is it going? I'd like to welcome you guys to a special edition of the Analog Circle podcast where I will be covering Bethesda's E3 press conference. So without further ado, it's not much here, but let's get into it. So Bethesda, the conference started off with some of the developers' kids, where they were talking about what their parents do at Bethesda. They showed some of the parents saying that this was a dream come true to be working on video games. It was an amazing opportunity, and they were very, very happy to be there at Bethesda. So once that wrapped up, of course, the conference starts, and Mr. Pete Hines actually takes to the stage and he says, "Welcome to Bethesda Land." Now, once that starts off, he actually talks about VR, Bethesda VR to be exact, where he showed off VR demos of both Doom and Fallout 4. Now, both of these games look very good. They didn't look like they were very much downgraded from their console counterparts. Now, these will be available this year, but the only downside that I saw to this was it looks like it's only going to be available on the Oculus Rift. So, no PlayStation VR support, and it looks like whatever Microsoft's compatible VR headset will not have these games on it either. So after they showed that off, after they showed those two off, they went into and showed a return of Morrowind, which is an MMORPG, which is good for people that like it, and that's also available right now. So for any of you guys that are fans of that, pick it up. So after that, up next, they showed Creation Club that will come with new weapons, new clothes, and add-ons, and it will be coming this summer. Basically, to my knowledge, what I understand this to be is pretty much almost like a modding thing, where you'll actually basically have to pay for mods. You'll be able to pay for backpacks, clothes, different skins on your character, and maps, and all of that kind of stuff. Anything that's modded, you can definitely use this service for it. Already, it has not been getting very, very good. It hasn't been getting very good reviews for something like this because we know the PC guys, they never have to pay for mods or anything like that. And this is the first time this is going to be happening. I think Steam had tried it very, very, very briefly. And once people dropped the hammer on it, they went on and just said, forget it, never mind. So we'll have to see how this actually comes out in the wash. It might not be very successful, but hey, you gotta shoot your shot. So we'll see what happens. So after they showed that, next they showed the card game, which is actually called Elder Scrolls Legends, and it will be available on Steam, iPad, and Android this year, coming out on June 29th, 2017. After they showed the card game, up next they showed Skyrim. And you might say, Skyrim, what's so big about that? They showed the Nintendo Switch version of Skyrim. And I must say, it looks really good. Now, I know for you and me or any, hardcore gamers, you've already played Skyrim. You played it either on your PlayStation 3 or you played it on your Xbox 360. Heck, you might even played it on your Xbox One or your PS4 because they did come out with the HD remake not too long ago. But for people that have not witnessed the game, have not played it, and are fans of Nintendo, it's great that these guys will be able to definitely play the game and experience it for the first time. And the one thing that I really liked what Bethesda did was they actually included a Zelda skin. Well, I don't know if it's included in the game itself. It might be DLC or an add-on or whatever you want to call it, but it looked like it had an adult Zelda in the game. So I thought that was a fantastic nod to the Nintendo brand. Now, of course, this will be coming out this year. I just did not get the release date. So after they talked about that for a while, next up they showed Dishonored 2, some DLC that will be coming out that's called Death of the Outsider. Now, this will be starring Billy from the game. From my knowledge of what I've heard about Dishonored 2, Billy is a character in the game. She's pretty dope from what I hear. She's a pretty bad girl in a good way. She gets it in basically. And they said that this makes sense because the way things happen in the story, they alluded to this. So it makes sense for you to be able to play that storyline out. So the name of it, once again, is Death of the Outsider, and it will be released this year on September 15th. So up next, after they showed Dishonored 2's DLC, they went into Quake Champions, which the pace of this game is awful fast. Looks like the game could be running at 90 frames per second. I mean, this game did not miss a beat. It was going on and on and on. And they were talking about it, saying that you can win $1 million purse, $1 million purse. And they talked about QuakeCon, which will be happening on August 26th of this year. And they're going to have one of the characters in the game that will be BJ Blazkowicz, which is actually the main character from Wolfenstein. So I thought that was pretty good. So after they showed that, next they went into the under construction section of Bethesda Land and showed off a game trailer that looked horror based about a man who has lost his daughter. Now, the game, of course, the only game that I know of, in Bethesda's stable right now that they're behind is The Evil Within. And that's what it was. It was the sequel to The Evil Within 2. And that game will be being released on October 13th, 2017. Again, another game coming out this year. Now I have to say the trailer looked very, very interesting. It looked cool. It looked, kind of intense in certain parts. But the thing was, they didn't show a lot of gameplay. They showed little snippets here and there of the gameplay, which actually looked good when they showed it, but it wasn't a whole lot of it going on in the background, as it were, for me to really get excited and, really, really get a better feeling for the game. I still believe that in this stage of game development, you do not need a CG trailer. You don't need it. And that still burns me up to this day when they go on and on showing off these CG trailers. We have the technology. Guys, lay off of it. Most of the games that are doing CG trailers, they darn near can do the same performance in game. Almost. It is no need for it. So that kind of threw me off about the game. And I mean, hey, for anybody that's looking forward to it, I'm glad that you guys are going to get the sequel that you wanted. But for me, it just didn't move my meter too much one way or the other. Now, the last thing that they showed, which, the Bethesda conference was not long at all. But the last game they showed, which I must say, it started off with this schoolgirl that wanted to help this guy who was trapped under something. I mean, it's kind of hazy to me right now, so I might really mess up the whole backstory of this. But basically the girl, she was, looked like it was taking place in the 50s or the 60s, like one of those Lassie shows, you know. So she calls this thing called the daggone Liesel to help the man out from under the car or some barrels or something he was stuck under. And the Liesel comes up, looks like this robotic looking dog, you know, which made me think about Lassie. Yeah, Lassie was the daggone smartest dog on the planet, man. Knew how to read daggone everything. Having to, have humans understand and whatnot. Anyway, I'm going way left. Let me get back on track, man. All right, so she called this Liesel, and he was trying to save the guy. He set some stuff on fire, knocked the car over. Things got real crazy, and after that, they started flicking to other little shows or whatever, and then it finally landed on this game trailer. And I have to say, man, it showed the character. The main character in the hospital. And oh my gosh, one of my gaming dreams of E3 came true, because the game that they showed off last and absolutely not least was Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, and the game looks great. Oh, the visuals. Whoa, man. The visuals look so good. It's coming back with dual wielding weapons. The character models look great. Storyline looks interesting. I liked how they started it, because BJ Blazkowicz, his wife is actually pregnant with twins, right? And he's saying, I'm not gonna bring my kids up in a world like this. So he's trying to find the resistance. He's going up a ladder, trying to see what's going on. And as he's going up the ladder, a gun is placed right in his face at point blank range. He's trying to convince the two, I'm not a Nazi. I am on your side. I've been trying to find y'all. Where y'all been at? Been trying to reach out. They don't believe him. Blazkowicz gets tired of trying to explain himself, and all of a sudden this really cool helmet, shield looking thing goes over his head. The guy shoots him in the head. Of course he doesn't kill him because the shield is up, and then he takes the guy by the neck. He dangles him over the edge, and the woman says, don't do that or I'm gonna blow us up. And I said, man, and she was a sister. I said, this is dope. Kind of didn't need the afro. I don't think she needed the afro, god dang it. I mean, I don't know what's going on with that. But she said, don't do it or I'm gonna blow us up. So Blazkowicz says, okay, basically I don't want to die. So he starts sitting the guy down, and then she flicks the pin by mistake. And all of a sudden, he's like, hit the deck, hit the deck. He hits the deck. She laughs, walks off, and says the grenade is a dud, basically. It's not live. So that's how the game starts. And then they start going into the action, the like I said, the dual wielding, him just going and shooting all kinds of robots, and god darn, the game, oh man, I was so excited about this. But that is not the most exciting news about this, man. The most exciting thing about this is the game is coming out on October 27th of this year. So we don't even have to wait. I'm picking this one up day one. This made the conference for me. All of the other stuff that was shown, it didn't necessarily speak to me personally, but this game right here, this was the winner for Bethesda's E3 show. For their conference, this was the one that stood out to me the most. And I have to say, it looks like it's not going to disappoint. It was one cool thing I want to point out. You guys should definitely go look at the trailer for this. It was such a great looking game. But at the end, the guy, BJ Blazkowicz, his wife is actually stabbing a Nazi on the ground. And she's pregnant with twins. And she has this guy with her. And as she's stabbing the guy, he actually pops a acid tablet. And he starts tripping out off of the acid. And he starts imagining a cartoon character in the world is there. He goes over to the cartoon character, almost looks like Jiminy Cricket or something. He's like, don't you worry, friend. I'm going to protect you. You're coming with me. It was just such a funny moment. I can't recap it for you here. You'll have to watch it to really get the humor in it because I did a terrible job at it right there. But it was just such a really cool moment. I'm so happy that they're bringing this back. Bethesda, I applaud them for bringing this back so soon. I'm very excited. And for any of you guys that have not played Wolfenstein, The New Order, the original one on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, I implore you to definitely check it out. The game was so good. It was a sleeper hit for me. I had started hearing people talking about it so much that I said, God, dog, maybe I need to check this out if everybody's enjoying it so much. Because when I saw it the first time, I said, man, who the world is going to play Wolfenstein? This is going to be another whack first-person shooter. Who cares about Wolfenstein? It's not going to do anything special. It's probably not even going to be that great. But shockingly, man, it really threw me for a loop when I played the game and how smooth the gameplay was, how much fun the game was, and even more so, how good the story actually was. The story really, really shocked me. I was not expecting a lot from the story side of this game, but they definitely delivered a very good story. So you can pick up Wolfenstein now, man, probably $25, $30, maybe $15 if you're getting it pre-owned. But I recommend you guys definitely check it out. But guys, that was the end of Bethesda's conference. It wasn't a lot there. It was about roughly maybe 45 minutes. And that was all they basically showed. So I would have to say for Bethesda, if I gotta rate their conference, I would give them a 6. It just wasn't, and of course this is all subjective, everybody has an opinion. In my opinion, might not match up with yours. You might have thought it was brilliant. You might have thought it was sensational. And that's fine. That's your given right to feel how you feel. But for me, it just wasn't a lot there for me personally. Somebody else who's into MMORPGs might have flipped their wig for Morrowind to be coming back, or someone who's really into the horror genre. Like I said, the horror game that they have coming out, The Evil Within 2, that could have done it for you. But for me, just like for me, what Wolfenstein did for me, one of those other games might have did that for you. So wasn't a lot there. I was hoping for a new IP on top of, even though I knew it was a long shot, I figured that it wasn't going to happen, but you always hold out that last little piece of hope that your E3 dream game will be there, and that was going to be a new Elder Scroll. Even though against all of my better judgment, I knew that wasn't going to happen. And then I also thought that Bethesda, since Microsoft didn't show it, I thought Bethesda was going to be working on an exclusive for Microsoft. I was loose talk. People were saying that was happening, and it looks like, at least at this point in time, that even if it is happening, they did not want to show anything. So there was a couple of disappointments in there, but overall, it was just an okay show, but anyway, that's just not the end of it though, because I definitely will be back later on tonight for one of the big hitters. My second favorite console. Okay, my second favorite. I always tell you guys my preference is Xbox. I love the Xbox brand. I enjoy it highly. Would not call myself a fanboy. I just say I'm a fan. I don't defend Microsoft at every single turn. I just try to call it down the middle. But I am looking forward to Sony's conference. They have some games that I am really looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing more on Detroit Become Human. Gosh, I hope that gets a release date. I'm hoping that they show some more Spider-Man footage and a release date. I would like to see The Last of Us 2, even though I know that's not coming out for another 2 years or so, but I would still love to see it in action. I'm hoping that Sony's going to have some new IPs. I don't think that's going to happen because their plate is so full right now, but it would be great if they did show off some new IP that they're working on and give us some surprises that we weren't expecting. So to me, Sony, they definitely have the catalog of games to make their show amazing. I mean, Days Gone, that might get a release date this year. It's possible. I mean, we know Death Stranding isn't going to be there, so we don't have really anything to look forward with that. But like I said, Sony has so many games right now that they have out there that we've seen that all they need to do is definitely give some dates or some release windows. So if they do that, I think they'll have a great E3, but they have to keep up with the pace of Microsoft, because I have to say, Microsoft, say what you want, the games might not have been there for you. They might not have been the ones that really did it for you to really cross you over into their ecosystem. But Microsoft had some very good points in their conference. Just the fact that they're bringing back the OG Xbox games that are going to be compatible with the Xbox One, Xbox One S, and the Xbox One X is amazing that they are going to be able to do that, and you'll be able to put your original discs in and play the game. Also, Pinello, he had mentioned that you can even do System Link from your original Xbox to your Xbox One to your Xbox Scorpio to play the game. So I thought that was great to see. Ori and the Blind Forest 2, which is called Ori and the something Wisp, which looked, God, dog, I recommend you go see that trailer. Ori and the Blind Forest 2 looks like a AAA title, and it has this art style that I have never seen in a game before. Unbelievable, jaw-dropping, and beautiful to look at. So I think that, I think Microsoft had a great showing. You know, it could have been a little better in some spots, but that's just how the ball drops sometime. But Sony is up next. And I'm rambling on way too long, so I'm about to wrap this up. But guys, I will definitely talk to you later on tonight when we see what the heck Sony brings in their arsenal. So until then, you guys take care, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.